Today our agenda is to discuss back propagation algorithm of neural networks, artificial neural networks. So have you gone through that slide? Do you have understanding of artificial neural networks? Why they are called artificial? How they are similar to neurons, the human neurons which exist in brain, and then what is their basic structure? Have you gone through that? Anybody? You have idea or no? If you have idea, just raise your hand. There is a raise your hand is there on your screen. Raise your hand symbol is there. So if you have idea, just raise your hand. What is neural network? Artificial neural network. I just introduced it in the last lecture, last to last lecture. Do you remember that? Anybody? Avnish? Avnish? Abhinav? Salil?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember like I introduced neural artificial neural network in last to last lecture?
Sir, you gave a very small idea about what it was.
That's what I'm asking. Like if you have some idea, we will continue above that. So if you have basic idea, then only we can start back propagation.
Sir, you'll have to pick it up again. It was a very small this thing. Even if it was an introduction, it was a very small introduction.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have how many of you have some idea? Just raise your hand. You have some idea of artificial neural network. What is artificial neural? What is the structure of that? Just raise your hand if you know something. Okay, then we will start
Hmm.
with the basic structure. Within that itself, I will let you know the. So this is actually the basic artificial neural network where multiple layers are there. So I have skipped that biological neuron concept right now. Uh, I will advise you to go through that slide which I discussed in last lecture and see the structure of a biological neuron. Okay, and what is what are neurons? How do they communicate? So that is a basic introduction to that is a theoretical topic and which helps you to understand neural networks. Okay, but when we come to artificial neural network, it is just a mathematical concept and it is nowhere uh, like we do not have to carry any information, any knowledge from biological neurons. Okay, so it is a mathematical, you can say it is a closest mathematical model of biological neuron. Now when we have done that, we have um, this model. Now we will just work in this model only and we do not have to worry about the biological actual model of neuron. Okay, so I will advise you to go through that so that you can understand the idea from where it has been picked. Okay, so what is neural network? Basically it consists of neurons. So every circle you can see is a neuron, is generally a neuron except the input layer circles. So this is the input layer, this is the output layer, and there may be any number of hidden layers between that, between these two layers. And what is the difference between input layer and output layer? Input layer is just the layer which provides input. So there is nothing, no processing happening at input layer. We are just feeding. It is just I1 is just one input, I2 is just another input. That's it. Okay. So this input layer doesn't process anything. Output layer is a neuron similar to other neurons in other layers. So all the layers which lie between these two layers are called hidden layers. And you can have any number of hidden layers in a neural network. Okay. And that has to be decided based on your application, based on your requirement, how complex is your problem, and how much time you can afford for processing, and so on. So there are many criteria on the basis of which you will decide how many layers have to be there. Okay, and then how many neurons in each layer are there. That can also be defined and decided, and it is variable. It is not fixed. Okay, so here the shown are only two neurons in a layer. There can be any number of neurons in the layer. Okay, so there can be any number of layers, and then there can be any number of neurons in each layer. Okay, so this input layer is different from other layers in a way because the circles here does not represent any neuron. They represent only input values. Okay, there is no processing happening at any circle of input layer. So input layer is consists of only inputs, and output layer is consists of a neuron, and which produces the final output from the neural network. So this is neural network. How each neuron looks like, I just discussed that in previous lecture also. So every neuron looks like this. Okay, it has two phases. Processing happening in the neuron happens at two phases. First phase calculates the weighted input of each input which is fed into the neuron. So you can see that in this neuron there are multiple inputs coming in. Okay, and these inputs are attached with some weights, some values, some numerical values, and these weights are supposedly some value between 0 and 1. Okay, so these are called weights, and if there are multiple weights getting in a particular neuron, the neuron first calculates the weighted input, and weighted input is weighted sum basically. Okay, so if there are three inputs, every input is with weight. So there is another default input which is called bias, and this is some weight which is given to input apart from actual inputs. Okay, so now from this what we calculate weighted input, and that input is let us see how this is happening. So let us how neural network are trained. They are first some default or some random weights are applied to each value. Some random values are assigned to each weight of neural network. Okay, and then since we are training, so that means we have some trained data. Trained data means the data for which we know the output, exact output, expected output. So for each input in a training data, we know exact output, the expected output. So this is, so for example, this is your input 0.05, 0.10 are two inputs, and these are the expected outputs. on each of the neuron, 0.01 and 0.99. Okay, so if we know that, we initialize by assigning some random weights to each neuron and each path, and some random bias also. Okay, now how these are calculated? So first is net H1. So first you have to calculate net H1. So this is H1. H1 has two portions. First is net and final is out. Okay. So net is basically weighted input. So net is weighted input, and weighted input is just the sum of all inputs multiplied by their weight. Okay. So there are two inputs, I1 and I2. I1 and I2 are two inputs to this H1, and weights assigned to these paths are W1 and W2. So W1 into I1 plus W2 into I2 plus B1 into 1. So this is bias, and bias is assigned some value, random value 0.35. Okay. So based on this, you calculate the net H1 for this neuron. Similarly, you calculate the net H2 for this neuron. Okay. Now, what is out? Out depends on activation function. So there may be several activation function. There are linear. So this is sigmoid activation function. So this function is sigmoid, and there are various values, various types of activation functions which exist. So we will presently discuss sigmoid activation function. तो अगर वो फंक्शन सिग्मॉइड है, यहाँ पे लीनियर भी हो सकता था, यहाँ पे और बहुत सारे फंक्शन हैं जो हो सकते हैं, लॉगरिथमिक भी है और बहुत सारे फंक्शन हैं जो कि यहाँ पे हो सकते हैं. We will only apply presently sigmoid function. So sigmoid is 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus x. So if x is the weighted input to H1, x is the weighted input to H1, then the output will be 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus x. Okay. So what is weighted input H1? That we just calculated net H1. So net H1 is the weighted input, and this input goes into the sigmoid function, and the value actual output from this is calculated. So based on this, net H1 becomes, so if two inputs are 0.05, 0.10, then weighted input to H1 becomes 0.015 into 0.15 into 0.05 plus 0.2 into 0.1 plus 0.35 into 1 is equal to 0.3775. So this is the input. Then this value is converted or applied or fed to this function, which is called sigmoid function, an output function or activation function. So this value gives, after applying this function on this value, we get 0.5932699. So this value, the output from H1 becomes 0.5932699. Okay. Then same thing, if we apply on H2, we get this. Okay, so whatever calculation we have done, first we calculate net H2. Net H2 is 0.20 into 0.05, and then 0.30 into 0.10 plus 0.35 into 1. So that will be your net H2, and then you will calculate 1 upon 1 plus e raised to minus net H2, and that will give you out H2. Okay, so activation function, we are using sigmoid function for this. So we can have different activation function for different neurons or different layers also. So here we have defined that we will use only sigmoid function for each neuron in our neural network, but we can define, or we can have different activation function at each layer or each neuron. That depends on our requirement, or that depends upon our learning, okay, experience. Okay, any question? Any question till now? Anybody has any question? No? Gyanendra?
Yes,
Gyanendra, are
sir.
you there?
Yes, sir.
You are getting, following the things which I
Yes,
just
sir.
told? Any question in that?
Yes. No, sir.
Okay. Actually, it is very difficult to know that you are following the things or not in this mode, in this type of mode. When we are in class, I can make out things from your faces, but now I am not looking at your faces. I don't know if you are hearing me, if you are getting me the things or not. Okay. So please answer me when I ask you okay or no. So answer, give some feedback.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now,
Yes, sir.
so we have calculated both of the outputs in this. तो हमने क्या कर लिया, हमने इसका भी आउटपुट निकाल लिया, इसका भी आउटपुट निकाल लिया. So this is what we are, I'm just showing you that how to make neural network learn. And there is a well-known algorithm, backpropagation algorithm, that is used to learn. So this is one such algorithm. There may be, and there are many other algorithms also. So this is backpropagation algorithms, which helps learning by feedback. Okay, so it's a type of reinforcement learning of thing. Okay, now we come to layer, output layer. So similar strategy, same formula we apply here again, because we are using the same activation function on these two neurons also. So we have just calculated the output from this and output from this. So this output becomes what? Remember this output, what is this output? H1. H1 is 59.593 and that is 0.596. Okay, so there is very little difference, 0.593 and 0.596. So these are two values. Now we use them by multiply them using different weights as specified, and we find the net input to O1. So net input means first part of the processing, that is weighted input. So net O1 is W5 into H1, output of H1, and W6 plus W6 into output of H1 plus 0.60 into bias B2, which is 1. Okay. So 0.4 into 0.59326,992, that is out H1. Then W6 0.45 into 0.59688. So we have just brought in those values which we have calculated in the previous step. We have just brought in those values in this formula and calculated the new value for net output, net O1. And using that, we calculate the output using same function, sigmoid function. So this function is called sigmoid function. So we assumed that for each neuron, we are using the same activation function, which is, this is very popular activation function. That is why it is used. And similarly, we calculate output of this neuron O2, which is 0.772928,465. Okay, based on same formula. Now what we do? Now we have to change these weights. So we know that expected output was 0.01 on O1 and 0.99 on O2. So that was the expected output, but we have got 0.75. So we have just done random assignment to weights. So we are just getting something. some random value. So initially we will get some random value which will never match with the expected output, because we have not assigned these weights according to the requirement. Okay. So when we assign these weights, now we have got this, we know what is the error. Okay. So what we have to do in back propagation algorithm, we have to back propagate these errors back to the initial stage. And while back propagating, we will change these weights accordingly. Okay. So how do we do that? We will see. Now we first find the error. So error is the squared error function. You can use any error. You can just initially you can just find difference as an error. Okay. And generally it is a squared error function is used so that we just take care of difference between the input and output, and negative and positive value in the error does not matter. So that is why squared error function is used. Okay. So now we know target O1 is 0.01 and the output we have received is 0.75. So we calculate the this error, squared error, and we get this one. Okay, so this is the error from in O1, and similarly error in O2 is this. So both of these are positive values because we have squared the difference. Okay, so the difference have been squared, that is why we have avoided that value. That sign, negative sign, is not there. Now we total this. E total is equal to O1 plus O2, E01 plus E02, and this is the total error for the neural network, is the sum of these errors. Now what we do, we back propagate. So what do we mean by back propagate? Back propagate means we find the change in weight W5. So what change in W5 should be done so that error get reduced? Okay. So for that, what we must know, what exact component or how much part of this error belongs to weight W5. So E total is actually this thing. E total is actually this thing, which consists of several values, target and output. Okay. So we just calculate what we see. E total is, it contains several things. Okay. So we first have to know what part of E total actually has been impacted by W5. So this is the formula, differential partial differential we can use. So this gives you what component or how much effect W5 have on E total. So we will find the difference or differentiation of E total with respect to W5. We want to find differentiation of E total with respect to W5 only. So this is called partial differentiation. कि हम W5 को जब चेंज करेंगे तो कितना component E total का चेंज होगा. Okay, what is that formula? What is that proportional value? So that we will find. So this is calculated using partial differentiation, as you already know in mathematics, from mathematics. And for calculating partial differentiation, we have to use chain rule. And E total, as you know, consists of two things, E01 and E02. And E01, so let us see how we calculate this. E total is this, half target O1 minus out O1 square plus half target O2 minus out O2 square. And if we take out differentiation of E total with respect to out O1, we get this one. Okay, so out O1 के respect में जब total देखेंगे, डिफरेंशिएशन देखेंगे. So this becomes 0. So this does not change. If we change out O1, this only changes, and we can calculate using the formula 2 into 1 by 2 target O1 minus out O1. Okay, 2 minus 1. So this becomes minus 1 into minus 1 has come from minus value. So when we differentiate, you can refer the differentiation formula for x square. So x square का differentiation formula क्या होता है, और ax square का differentiation formula क्या होता है, ax square by dx. What is the formula? Do you remember? Anyone? Ax square by dx. Anyone remembers? So this is actually the value a into 2. So x square, the 2 of exponent will come down, and that value will get reduced. So 2 will become 2 minus 1, that is 1. So finally, you get this target O1 minus out O1 raised to 1. Okay, 2 cancels each other, and this minus of out O1 comes here. So you get this value, target O1 minus out O1 minus of this. So this is what E total with respect to out O1 is. Okay. Now, what is out O1? Out O1 is 1 upon 1 plus E raised to minus nat O1. Okay. So out O1 is this, and we first have to calculate partial differentiation of out O1. Why we are doing this? Why we are taking partial differentiation with out O1? Because we want to calculate partial differentiation of E total with respect to W5. And W5 is one of the component in out O1, and it does not exist in out O2. So we will just take first partial differentiation of E total with respect to out O1. Okay. Then after getting this, we will find this. And now we see that out O1 is actually this. So we will replace. We have to partially differentiate now out O1 with respect to nat O1. So because nat O1 is the thing here which contains x5. So we finally want partial differentiation of E total with respect to W5. Okay. So now we calculate partial differentiation of out O1 with respect to nat O1, and this becomes out O1 into 1 minus out O1 is equal to this value. Okay. So partial differentiation formula, you refer to partial differentiation formula for partial differentiating this. So this actually will remain same, and then you will partially differentiate this 1 plus E raised to minus nat O1 with respect to nat O1, and you will get minus 1 minus nat O1. So actually finally you will get out 1 into 1 minus out O1. So if you differentiate out O1 with respect to nat O1, you will get this value. Okay. Finally, how much does the total net input of O1 change with respect to W5? So now we come to our final step of differentiation. Net O1 can be expanded like this, and now we can differentiate nat O1 with respect to W5. So if we differentiate this part, this becomes 0. If we differentiate this part, that becomes 0. If we differentiate this part, it gives you some value. What is this value? You will just apply the differential formula, and you will get this 1 into out H1 into W5 raised to 1 minus 1. Okay, that becomes 0. So it is out H1, and this is equal to 59326,992. Okay. So now we have calculated the partial differentiation of E total with respect to W5. Okay. Putting all these things together, we get these values. Okay. So actually partial E total with respect to W5 is the combination of all these three values, and this is this value. Now what we do? You can just, this is delta rule. E total with respect to W5 is equal to target O1 or out O1 into out O1, 1 minus out O1 into out H1. So this is actually the value, and then when we put all these values, we get this. So now we know how much effect W5 have on E total. We calculate the we have some other parameter called learning rate, eta. So this eta is learning rate. So how much, at what rate we want to learn. So suppose we have taken this value as 0.5 for the current artificial neural network. So what we will do, we will add this or subtract this component from the actual value. So W5 is this, and this is the differential which we have got from the error. So this much is the differential of the error which should be adjusted in W5. This is the effect with respect to W5 on error. So which we have just calculated just now. So this component is equal to 0.0821677041. So if we are learning at the rate of 0.5, so we will just multiply this and subtract it from W5. So we get the updated W5 as this. So this is your updated W5. So what we have done, we have back propagated the component of error which has been affected due to W5 based on formulas, how they are defined. We have found that what component of W5 affects E total, and then based on that, out of that error, we have calculated the learning rate. Based on learning rate, the amount which has to be adjusted in the weight. So initially the weight of W5 value was 0.4, and now we subtract this and we get the updated W5 as this. Okay. Similarly, we change weights for other values W6, W7, W8. So these are the weights W6, W7, W8. So we will do partial differentiation of E total with respect to W6, then with respect to W7, and then with respect to W8. And we will get similar formulas as we have seen earlier. And we will find those values and assign those values, find those, calculate those values actually, and find the adjusted W's, updated W6, W7, and W8. Now after getting these output, similarly we will propagate these output to this. How? So this is actually the, let us see how we propagate it back. Now we have calculate E total with respect to W1. So we will calculate partial differentiation of E total with respect to W1, which is equal to E total with respect to out H1, then out H1 with respect to net H1, then net H1 with respect to W1. And but only out H1 is the thing which contains W1. Net H1 and W1 does not contain. Okay. So E total with respect to out H1, then out H1 with respect to net H1, and then net H1 with respect to W1. E total with respect to out H1 is equal to EO1 upon out H1 plus EO2 upon out H1. Okay. E total consists of two things, EO1 and EO2. EO1 is also get affecting from H1, and EO2 is also getting affected from H1. Okay. So it is all mathematics, partial differentiation. If you know that, then it's better. So if you don't know, just revise that and then try to understand these things. So we are just applying partial differentiation and we are just trying to find partial differentiation of E total with respect to each weight. Okay. And we propagate that much proportion of error into that weight. Okay. So these are the techniques which is being used for back propagation. Now this is E total out H1 with respect to out H1 is this. Starting with EO1. EO1 we will calculate EO1 we will calculate partial differentiation of EO1 with respect to out H1. So this is EO1 with respect to nat O1, nat O1 with respect to out H1, and so on. Okay, so EO1, nat O1, EO1 was over out O1, and then out O1 with over nat O1. Any question in this? Are you able to understand? This is simple mathematics. Yes, any doubt? Gyanendra? Khushi?
No doubt, sir.
Seriously? Seriously, no doubt, or there is some issue like you need to have time? Khushi?
Sir, if I go through it once more, maybe I'll get it.
That's what, like, this is simple mathematics. I'm just following these steps and you just have to understand. I'm just defining what is the why we are doing this. So I'm just telling you why we are doing this. And this is simple mathematics. We have to just calculate partial differentiation of each of these terms and then find the value. So now this one by one, what we are doing, we are calculating partial differentiation of EO1, EO total with respect to X1, W1. तो अभी हमने W5, W6, W7, W8 के रेस्पेक्ट में हमने पार्शियल डिफरेंशिएशन निकाला और उस पार्शियल डिफरेंशिएशन वैल्यू का हमने कुछ कंपोनेंट उसमें ऐड कर दिया बेस्ड ऑन लर्निंग रेट. ओके. Similarly, we have calculated partial differentiation of E total with respect to other weights and we have just changed them. Similarly, now we want to calculate partial differentiation of E total with respect to X1, that is the layer before that. So this becomes more complex. Partial differentiation of this will become more complex. It will have more terms. That's it. It will be lengthier process, but no complexity is added. It is same partial differentiation. We just have to do it for more number of terms. That's it. Okay. So now we calculate nat O1 with respect to this. Nat O1 over out O1 is equal to W5 is equal to 0.40. And we will bring all these values into this and we will finally calculate. So this is E total with respect to out H1. And from out H1 is equal to this. So out H1 with is equal to net H1 is this. And net H1 with respect to W1 is this. So this is actually the partial differentiation when we apply all these terms together. Partial differentiation of E total with respect to W1 is this 0.000438568. So that means what? That whatever error is there, this much amount of that error is coming from W1, is due to W1. That is the meaning of this partial differentiation. Okay, why we are doing this partial? We want to know okay, E total jitna bhi value hai, that value out of those value it is being created because of 8 weights. Okay, W1, W2, W3, W4, and then W5, W6, W7, W8. So all these weights are responsible for making that error, and we are just using partial differentiation, first we find how much amount of that error is happening due to each of these weights, and then that amount we try to adjust in the value of that weight so that the error is removed, in order to remove that error from the output. Okay, so using the learning rate. So again we will use the same learning rate, that is 0.5, and we will adjust the amount here. So this becomes 0.15 was the initial value, now it becomes 0.149. Similarly, we change W2, W3, W4. Now we have changed all the weights. Then we propagate and feed again 0.5 and 0.1, the input which we were feeding, and we again propagate this forward, and we get the error reduced. So this is new error. Okay, so this was initial error 29837. After making this process again, तो जो भी हमने W1 चेंज किया, फिर हम दोबारा वो कैलकुलेट करेंगे जो हमने पहले किया था, ये सब दोबारा करेंगे और फाइंड करेंगे एरर कितना आया in the second step. So again we will find the error, and then again that error. So after doing this we will find that error has been reduced. So what was the error earlier? In the first step, the value of error was this is the error 0.29837. So this was the error, total error, which happened due to the initial random weights. After making this propagation, we have updated the weights, and now W1 has W1, W2, W3, all these weights have got changed. And now again we move this value ahead on the neural network, and we find again what is the new error. And new error, what we will find is will be equal to 291027924. Okay, so we will again propagate this error back to the network, and we will again modify the weights. So we will keep on doing this till we reduce the error to minimum. So we will also that criteria will also be set, which we call stopping criteria or termination criteria, that at what error percentage we will stop this propagation. Okay, so after 10,000 times, it might not seem like much, but after repeating this process 10,000 times, this error reduces to this value. So after doing this again and again 10,000 times, so you will not do this. Actually, the computer will do this. You will just write the program and will keep on doing this again and again, and this error will eventually get reduced to this one. So after 10,000, if you run it for 10,000 times, you will get this much reduction. The value, final value error will be this. So your actual output will be very close to the expected output after that point. So when we at this point, if we feed this, you will get O1 as 0.015 and O2 as 0.984. So this is the final value you get after 10,000 times. Okay, now you can change. If you change this network, if you increase number of layers, if you increase number of neurons, this the performance of this network will change. You may learn better, you may learn closer, you may become more exact, or you may learn faster. So that will depend on the parameters like the number of layers, number of neurons, biases, and all these things. Okay. So have you understood this? So this site, I found it a good explanation on this site, good pictorial explanation of this. So I have used this one. You can just note down this site for your reference. Okay, to understand it better. So it has just given a pictorial representation in a nice way so that we can understand this backpropagation algorithm in simpler way. So I believe you would have understood this. Any question? Any question regarding anything else? Can you just switch on your videos for a moment, everybody? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
So what about others? Salil is there. Kushi, Pranav, Gyanendra, Shelja.
Sir, I have to update my camera driver, so I can't switch on the cam.
Okay. So Shelja, how are the things going? Able to learn?
Yes, sir.
Abhinav, Pranav, Avnish. Pranav, are you there? Kushi.
Sir, actually, there's some problem in my webcam, so I cannot turn.
Okay. Pranav. Abhinav. Shikhar. Aniket. So anybody has any problem in this understanding? Any question? कि ऐसा क्यों किया कोई क्वेश्चन है regarding this back propagation algorithm? No. So we'll stop here. Thank you for attending. And I will save the recordings and upload them on the EduNext. So I have been uploading all the recordings. So if you have any question in earlier lectures also, you can go there and follow the recordings.